Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, United by Flavor. Right now we're working through a series called the 50 States of Food, where we're uncovering iconic dishes from every state. If you haven't seen our previous episodes, go check them out now. Right now we're doing our third episode of California. We broke it up into Northern, Central, and Southern California. So we're in Southern California now, and I just have to say this was so difficult to choose what we were going to make. California is famous for things like the California burrito, California sushi rolls. They've invented the Cobb salad, and apparently the first crispy hard shell taco, like the Taco Bell kind, was first made in California. They also have incredible Asian food. In fact, Asian food was first introduced into the United States through California. But what I ended up choosing was to pay homage to the food truck scene and the fusion food culture that has developed in Southern California. So today we are making Queso Bedia with instant ramen. Let's get started. Bedia is a traditional Mexican dish, and it has taken the food scene by storm. Bedia is a stewed meat dish and can be made with either beef or lamb, and we'll be using 3 kinds of chilies to make the base of our sauce: chili arbol, chili pasilla, and chili guajillo. I'm following a recipe from a fellow YouTuber called Cooking con Claudia, and I will link it down below. I have to say that this is a slightly different preparation from what I've had before, but it was very good and I really enjoyed it. You'll want to remove the seeds and ribs from the chilies to prep them. The chili arbol is very spicy. I used 2 and it really packs a punch. If you don't want your dish to be spicy, don't use them. The other 2 chilies have a much more earthy, almost chocolatey flavor to them. It's a wonderful combination. After you've prepped your chilies, you'll put them in a pot and you'll bring them to a boil. You can use water or beef broth. I used beef broth to enrich the flavor. Once they come to a boil, you'll put the beef broth or water and the chilies into a blender. Next, let's get the rest of our spices together. We're going to use salt, pepper, thyme, ginger, cinnamon sticks, cloves, cumin, and Mexican oregano. If you can't find Mexican oregano, you can use other oregano. That'll work, but Mexican oregano really brings a wonderful flavor that's quite different from other oreganos. Before you add your chilies to the blender, add in your spices, grind them up. I've also put in a few pieces of onion and 5 garlic cloves. We'll add that in with the chili and the beef broth and blend everything together to make an amazing sauce to stew our meat in. Today we're using 2 cuts of beef. I'm using a beef roast and then a bone-in shank. You don't have to use the shank, but I wanted to enrich the flavor with the added bone. You cut your roast into 3 pieces, and then the special surprise for today is that we're using an Instapot. This is my first time using an Instapot, and it actually turned out awesome. Oh, I had some company. He was very excited and wanted to get in there, but of course I said no. So because we're using an Instapot, you're able to sear your meat directly in there first before pressure cooking it. And this is a very important step. You don't want to skip this. Make sure you bring your meat up to room temperature, pat it dry, season it liberally with salt and pepper, and then you can use the sear brown setting on your Instapot. You'll pour your sauce in there after everything's seared, add in a couple tablespoons of vinegar, and let it go. So we're going to use the pressure cook setting for 55 minutes and make sure your steam is set not to release. And you'll see I added 2 bay leaves as well. Okay guys, I'm so excited. Oh, the anticipation is just insane. Okay, here we go. It's completely steamed over. Hold on. Okay, let's try that again. Whoa, there it is, looking amazing. It should be fork tender. You see me skimming off the fat from the top, and we're actually going to use this to fry our tortillas. So this is a very important step. Put your meat to the side, shred it up, and then for the queso part, we're using queso Oaxaca cheese. This is like a Mexican string cheese. You literally pull it apart, and it's so good. My daughter and my nieces were munching on it all day long. They loved it. But this is what you need to do to prep it. So it's very important, like in any kind of dish, you want to get your prep ready. So we're doing our mise en place here. We're getting our whole station ready. This is what I have here, so I can get ready to do everything all at once. So with the fat that you skim from the top, you'll use this to coat your tortilla, which will help you fry it and season the tortilla. Once the tortilla becomes bubbly on one side, flip it over and then add your cheese and your meat. It did take a little bit of trial and error. If you get any of the liquid from the soup that's not the fat, it's really difficult to work with, so you really want to make sure it's just the fat part and not the actual broth. But here we go. You can see we're making a bunch of fried tortillas and it's amazing. Okay, on to the fusion part. So traditionally, Bedia is made with a consomme that you eat on the side with the tortillas and the meat, but we're adding that consomme or broth to ramen. And then we have our toppings, onions, lime, cilantro, put it all together. Chef's kiss. Okay, I have special guests here, my two nieces, in addition to my lovely daughter, and they're going to tell us what they think. Are you ready, girls?
Yeah.
Listen to that crunch.
It's good.
What do you think?
It's
Person number
really
two.
Good. It's good.
Yums all around?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Thank you. Okay, here we go. Let's taste this. Mmm, so good. I've had Bedia many times before, but my first time having queso Bedia was in San Diego, and I love adding the fusion twist to this dish. Of course, I couldn't help myself, and I had to make another dish, so if you're still watching, you're going to get a bonus feature. We're making Baja-style fish tacos to celebrate the fusion between California and Baja, Mexico food. You're just going to make a simple slaw. I use the coleslaw mix and just ditch the dressing, sliced red onions, apple cider vinegar, some honey, and then we'll whip up a quick mayo with some of the sauce from chili and adobo, some mayonnaise, lime juice. The lime that I had was not good, so I used lemon juice instead, just straight from the bottle. It worked great. And then we're going to deep fry some cod. Now, this recipe called for a beer battered cod, and the beer was drunk at this point, so we substituted a bubbly, and you know what? It actually worked. I don't know if it's just because it needs the carbonation or what, but it was good. You can do it. If you don't have beer, just any carbonated beverage I think will work. Yum. Bon appetit. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my friends and family who've stuck around and gone on this journey with me. We really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great week. Subscribe.